Grace and peace, family. I hope everybody's doing good today. All right, I'm gonna get into a topic that I might have to break it down. So, this topic is gonna be the top 3 misconceptions of the healing journey with Christ. So, like I said, this may get a little lengthy, so I might have to break this up into 3 actual parts. But we're gonna get into it and see where we end up at. Okay, y'all. Let's go on this first one. Okay, so the first misconception when on this healing journey with Christ is that people are going to give you recognition for your hard work. I am here to tell you today, confirmation, you're not going to get a lot of recognition from what you're doing. And so if you think you are, if you think people are going to, pretty much just band with you when it comes to this journey, think again. And resign yourself to the fact that you may not get any recognition for your healing process. Now, when you are on the journey, you're going to come across 3 different types of souls. The first type of soul are going to be the commenders. These are the ones who are going to recognize what you're doing because they're doing it themselves. They are actively healing. They've been where you are. They're trying to get to where you are. But they understand what you're going through. Now, will they give you recognition? Some may. But for the most part, if they are in healing themselves, they're most likely in a form of solitude as well. So they've kind of taken a step back away from being as in the world as possible so they can focus on self. So you may not get recognition from the commenders, but you may get a thumbs up, a like, a share, or whatever, because they recognize what you're doing. So that's some of the perks that's going to come out of it, but you're not going to get much of that. The second type of soul you're going to come across when you're on your healing journey is going to be the curious. Now, these are the ones who they have questions. They see what you're doing. They maybe even see that it's working for you. They may be even at a point in their life where they're ready to start their own healing journey. Either way, what you're doing is sparking interest in someone else. Now, they may reach out. These may be the ones who give you way more recognition than any because they're ready to start and they have started and they recognize that it's difficult. But recognize that as you're on this journey, you are a crew of knowledge. You're learning a lot about yourself and how you operate and what your needs are and how to get closer to Christ. And as you're doing that, you now take on the persona of a teacher. You're showing someone else how you've done this process or what you're doing or what's making it easier. It's going to be extremely helpful. So resign yourself to the fact that you may get people who have questions. Be ready to answer a few questions because Lord knows as you're on your journey, you might come across some questions for yourself, and you definitely want someone to be a light when you're in that dark place. The last type of soul you're going to come across are the left behind. Now, these are not giving you no flowers. I'm sorry. These are people who are not giving you no flowers. They may even watch you secretly, and they kind of reserve a little bit of, I want to call it, uncomfortability with your walk. Because it may be that your walk highlights what is within them that they need to start working on. A lot of people who you'll leave behind because of your healing journey will feel offended because they feel like by you leaving them behind, it means they're the cause of you needing to heal. When in all actuality, that's not it. When you begin a healing journey, you recognize that you need to heal because of the situations you put yourself in. It has nothing to do with anybody else has done to you. It has a lot to do with what you've done to yourself using someone else in your life. So to understand that it is not a process that is a blaming process. It's a process of removing yourself from situations that cause triggers within those areas that need to be healed. If someone hit you with a baseball bat and you know that they've done it, and and now you're walking past them and they have the baseball bat in your hand. The second time, you're going to be a little bit more cautious. You become cautious when you put yourself in situations that you need to heal from. So for the ones who are being left behind, recognize it's not a you problem. It's a them problem. They've allowed themselves to fall into this position and they need to heal from it. Now, we all have to take our own accountability for our healing. Everybody's been through something. So understanding that you cannot heal with a lot of external forces like coming at you is going to help ease this. A lot of times in healing, you're called to be in a form of solitude. And that is so that those outside forces, those triggers, aren't allowed to do more harm while you're in the process of clearing up who you used to be. And the reason for this is because one of the biggest factors of healing is people pleasing. And most people have this aspect because of the times we live in. Social media, there's so much access to everything that we naturally become people pleasers. If you are battling people pleasing, you need to be away from people because you're naturally going to fall back into your old ways. So until you've really begun to clean that area up within you, you may be called into solitude. And that's where the left behind comes in. You cannot keep the people around who are going to trigger you to be your old self. So this is the first aspect of the misconceptions. Okay, family, so now I'm on misconception number 2. Second one is that it gets easier as you go on this journey. No. The answer is no. It doesn't get easier. To be honest, I found it a lot easier in the beginning. And the reason is because when you first start the healing journey, you're looking at aspects of yourself that needs to be healed. It is easy to look at the surface level, to look at the simple things. Oh, I have to evaluate, the fact that I'm an overeater when I get stressed, right? We'll start with something simple. I'm an overeater when I get stressed. I need to fix this about myself. A lot of people will tackle that without a problem. Okay, portion control, timing my food, intermittent fasting, all of that. Now it's like, okay, well, yeah, healed. As you go deeper and you uncover more aspects of yourself that needs to be looked at, it gets harder. It gets harder. And the first misconception I talked about, leaving behind people, those are the areas where it gets really hard. A lot of times it is family. It is people who are really close to you that you are leaving behind because you've outgrown them. That is an extremely difficult thing to do. If you have siblings and you've been with your siblings your whole life and now you need to go into a solitude or go within yourself to heal and remove yourself from them because they had an influence on you that's not going to be conducive to your healing, guess what? You're going to fight with yourself. You're going to find yourself in prayer regularly saying, God, are you sure? Are you sure? I mean, they do stuff, but I forgive them, so can I? No. Forgiveness is for you. It's not for them. And just because you forgive somebody does not mean you allow them access to continue what they're doing. So, it does not get easier. And if I'm the first one to tell you, let you know. But I will say, as you work through your processes as to how you conquer these areas within yourself, you'll develop easier processes. So where it may have been hard to cut off your best friend, your cousin, your sister, it gets a little easier when you recognize that you're not cutting them off in a malicious way. You're not revoking access to yourself to make a statement to them about themselves. You recognize that you're releasing them so that you can grow And you're also hoping that they will grow too. Because when someone who you're healing from, or someone who you had to remove from your life, begins their healing process, guess what? They may be able to come back in your life when they've actually done some of that work. Because now they hold themselves accountable for the things that they've done in their past. And they may even look at you and recognize why you had to remove yourself and understand that very well. Like, I was going through a phase, girl. Thank you for removing yourself, because you wouldn't be this far on in your healing journey. You'd be surprised where things end up. The Lord works in very mysterious ways. And when you go on this journey, there's no limit as to where you can go when it comes to your healed self. So this was misconception number 2. We're going to get to number 3. Okay, so now we are on misconception number 3. And this one is probably the one that I hear the most. And it is that at some point, you will be healed. I am here to tell you, you will not be healed. Again, you will not be healed. And I'm going to tell you why. Yes, you are on a healing journey. So yes, you would hope that at some point it will end, right? At some point you realize that as long as there are other souls on this planet who are self-serving, who have not done the healing work, and who have access to you, whether it's through passing, whether it's, in classroom settings, whatever setting you enter the world into, as long as someone else who has access to you is not healed, they will impede on your healing journey and trigger you, which means even if you've done all the work in one area, some way found a way to have to go back in and look at it again. Accepting that this is a healing journey makes it a bit easier. Understand that you are on a journey to self-improvement, self-development, and self-awareness. You're not looking toward the end goal. You're looking toward being your best self. That's going to take work. Every time you conquer an aspect of you, you've allowed the old you to fall away. Which means every time you're growing, you're a new you. And then the next time you're a newer new you. And then the next time you're the newest of the newer new you. You're continuously developing yourself as a person. And that's the purpose of the journey, is to become your best self, your higher self. And that's going to not only take time, but continuous work. It is very easy to fall back into old ways, into old systems, to see yourself, in the easiest light. Or even make it easier for other people to relate to you, because your old self was relatable and your new self is actually a little bit more on top of things. It's going to take a lot of self-awareness. This is where making sure you're reading your Bible, making sure you're in consistent prayer is important to the journey, because it allows you access to seeing the vision as to where you're going. The Bible will give you insight on the way you should think about the world, the way you should process certain scenarios so that they are for your best interest. And then prayer gives you a chance to commune with the Most High and let Him know, I'm continuously growing. That way you defeat the feeling of loneliness when you're on the journey. You're, in a sense, coming home to yourself. And that process is not going to be an easy one. Now, granted, we live in a really good time. So a lot of people are trying to cultivate safe spaces for others to grow. So where the people have come before you, like myself, may have had to do this walk on their own, we're able to build safe spaces to make it easier for them to come out. So, I gave you the top 3 misconceptions. Don't get stuck out here thinking that healing is going to be easy, y'all. I mean, I get it. A lot of people on this healing journey, but it is not for the weak. And it is definitely not easy to become a better you. But you got this. I'm going to leave this right here. Hopefully you guys are